Hey everybody, welcome to the June Jamboree Rallycross drivers meeting video. I'm Keto.
And I'm Katie, and this is your virtual drivers meeting. We will not be doing an in-person drivers meeting at the event. So we're going to walk through all the things that you need to know in advance of the event so that you can prepare for the day. This meeting has two parts. We're going to walk you through the event specific stuff, and then we also have an additional video about reading rallycross cones. So please be sure to take a minute to watch through that. It'll tell you everything you need to know about navigating the course once you're there on race day. You have received an email with event information. Please be sure to read through that. It has the schedule, the run groups, everything you need to know. And so that'll really help you get ready and know what to do and where to be for the day. If you have any questions, you can always just reply back to that email and we'll answer them for you. The event weekend. It's probably going to be a warm one. It looks like it's going to be in the 80s. And the event we had last year there was actually it felt really warm. So just plan ahead, bring a hat, bring sunscreen, bring tons of water. Things like Gatorade are going to be really helpful to help you feeling good throughout the day. Long sleeves for when you're out working the course, even though it sounds counterintuitive, just be sure to kind of protect yourself. It's a lot of hot weather and it's a long day. So on the day, when you get there, you will show up at the gate. You will sign a waiver when you are there. This venue charges a $10 fee to enter, so please be sure to have cash on you. It's $10 per person, drivers, spectators, guests, everyone. And then you will drive to the paddock area, get yourself set up, get ready for tech inspection. If you're camping, you can get your camping area set up as well. And then you will go through tech inspection. Can you talk a little bit about the points that are checked in tech inspection?
Yeah, so tech inspection, what we check is we make sure that your helmet is up to date. We make sure that your seatbelts are operational, that you have a brake pedal, that throttle return, make sure that wheel bearings and all that sort of stuff are good to go.
And the most important thing,
battery.
That's okay. Second most important thing, you want to have your battery terminals covered, but also no loose items in your car.
That's
so
right.
One of the big things we send you back for is you still have all the junk in your trunk.
So that's a good one, junk. When you go to TAC, you need to take your car through TAC in the configuration that you're going to race in. So like if you have a floor mat on the driver's side, you need to take that out. You need to take out, whatever junk you have in the trunk and numbers on the car, stickers on the car, all that sort of stuff. Be ready to go when you go through tech, please.
Yes. So once you've passed tech inspection, you will go and check in. So bring your driver's license. We'll check you into the system. If you haven't raced with us before, we'll give you a time card, and we'll kind of give you a couple pointers for the rest of the day. We'll then walk the course. So walking the course is a chance to see the full course as it's laid out for the event before you're going at it at speed. So give yourself plenty of time to walk it multiple times so that you know what to expect when you're racing. Prior to actually racing, you will grid up and then you will be able to do a parade lap. It's one lap at slow speed. So you kind of put together all the things you saw during the course walk, and then we race. There's two sections of the day. Depending on your run group, you will either race in the morning and have a work assignment in the afternoon, or you'll work in the morning and race in the afternoon. We'll take a lunch break in the middle. One thing to note is that the schedule is tentative. We always start on time, but then as the day kind of happens, things can run a little longer, a little shorter. So just be flexible and know that that's how it works. You will get somewhere between 4 and 6 runs on the course, depending on the length. We do it sort of by how much time it takes so that everyone can get the same amount of runs. So we'll announce that during the run groups. And then, like I said, you'll have a lunch break, and then we wrap up the day with awards.
Yep.
Safety stuff. We talked through that.
Okay. General safety for the event. No guns, no drugs, no alcohol. Course is going to be marked out and delineated with cones, as all rally crosses are, very similar to autocross. Make sure you watch the video so that you know where you're going. Penalties get called in over the radio, and then are kept track of by timing control. All the times add up. So it's not just the magic run, all of them count, and all your penalties count as well. There's also Wi-Fi that will be available for timing and scoring. So you can see what you did, what kind of times you did. Just make sure you refresh, otherwise it'll show what you loaded last time. So go ahead.
One thing, because there's camping at this event and it's a multi-day event, people tend to be a little more relaxed and have a great time, which is wonderful. One thing to call out, keto, just breeze right over, no drugs, guns, or alcohol. We want to be really clear. There's no drinking during events. That means during your work assignment, during your lunch break, anything like that, there's absolutely none. After the event is over, it's your time. You can do with it what you want. Please be respectful. During our events, there's absolutely no drinking, zero tolerance. So just want to be super clear with that, especially as we come into the summer months and we're starting to have a good time.
Yep. And another thing is everybody needs to have their dogs on a leash at all times. I don't care how well behaved your dog is, it will be on a leash. And if you can't do that, then you just can't be here. We just cannot have loose animals.
Yeah, we have agreements with the venues about that.
We have agreements with the venues, our insurance, everything. So we just can't have it. So yeah.
So you show up to the start line. What do you need to have? What do you need?
You need to be ready to race. And by that, you need to have your helmet on. Seatbelt needs to be, latched. And with helmet, I also mean your chin strap too. Doesn't mean, you just stick it on. Believe it or not, you're also not allowed to be smoking during your run. I've seen it before. Windows need to be rolled up. You are allowed a 1-inch gap at the top of the window. 1 inch is just slightly bigger than your finger. So if you have that much space. Okay. Passengers, you are allowed a passenger in the front seat, no passengers in the back seat at all. The passenger must also have a helmet, seatbelt, all the same stuff. Window must be rolled up on their side if they are there. Just to be clear, you can have your rear windows rolled down if you don't mind getting a whole bunch of mud and dirt and stuff inside your car. That's up to you. But the window next to you, next to your passenger, must be rolled up. The passenger cannot be holding anything, cannot be holding a cup of Starbucks, mocha latte, is that right? Did I say that right? Okay. But you also can't hold a phone or a camera or anything like that. If they are, we will red flag you. You will get a DNF for that run, and it is your responsibility to make sure that, as the driver, competitor, that the passenger knows that. Yep.
What do you do if you find a cone down on course?
So if you come across a cone down on course, you have two options. You can come to a stop and point to it and let the course worker know that you saw it, and then continue down the course, at which point you will get a rerun. If you blow by it, you can run it over, you can hit it. It doesn't count against you at all whatsoever. But if you do blow by it and get to the next corner and you don't stop, don't come to us later and ask, that's your run. And you will be scored for it unless there's a red flag or some other thing that happens. So that's your options.
Great segue. Let's talk about red flags.
Yeah,
what do you do if you see a red flag as a driver?
A red flag has one meaning, and that meaning is stop as quickly as you can in a safe manner. It does not mean as soon as you see the red flag, you lock up all four wheels and go spinning off course. No, just come to a stop, wait for a course worker to give you directions. They will tell you something like drive through the rest of the course to finish, or turn around, head back to start, or something along those lines, but they will give you the direction as to what to do, and you will please follow those directions. If you blow past a red flag, there'll be a second red flag waiting for you. If you blow past the second red flag, you don't see it, that will earn you a conversation with me, and we'll have a discussion about, being aware of surroundings and so on and so forth.
Now, what if the red flag was for you because you had a DB?
So DBs. So D-bead, there's one freebie on a D-bead. If you knock the tire off of the rim and the air comes out of it, it's called a D-bead. What we do is we shut you down, we'll give you a red flag, and we will send you back. You will have 10 minutes to fix that D-bead and come back up for a rerun. I will tell you the fastest way is to replace it, not try and get the tire back on, but you will get that opportunity. What we don't want is the rim digging in with the car already leaning to one side. It's just going to promote a rollover. We also will not have you drive over our finish hose because your D-beaded wheel is likely to cut the hose. So we will direct you around that. And so yeah, you'll get one. You get a second DB, that's a DNF. So you get one, I suggest you raise your tire pressure.
Yep. And that timeout, that 10-minute timeout you can use to fix your DB. Let's say you don't get a DB, you can also use it for any other
That's
issue.
right. You can use it for any, you get a 10-minute timeout. Basically what it means is you have to let either timing and scoring or the grade captain know that you're taking that 10 minutes. 10 minutes starts when you're supposed to be at the line. So if you, for some reason, need to fix your car, whatever reason, you take off, you come back and you get there before your start time, your 10 minutes will not be used against you because it hasn't started. However, once your 10 minutes starts, even if you're just 30 seconds in or 1 minute in, that's your whole 10 minutes. You don't get to parcel it out over time, like 30 seconds here, a minute there. No, it's a one go with a maximum of 10 minutes.
Yep.
After that, if you don't make it back, then we just issue you a DNF for that one.
Yep. So if you tell grid will radio to us at timing and just say car 1, 2, 3 is going to take their 10 minutes. We make a note. And then when it's your time to run, we start a timer. If you just get back up to the line and we never had to start the timer, you're fine.
Yep. And so obviously some of this will pertain to course working as well, like the DB stuff. You know, if you're a course worker, you're going to want to, red flag people for a DB.
Perfect. Just open the door for me to talk about coursework.
Yeah.
So we're talking about everything sort of from the driver's side first. Now flip it. You will have a work assignment. You would likely be out on the course. Let's just talk about that a little bit. So first thing is your work assignment's required. If you show up, race, and then go home without your work assignment, we will not have you back. So it is a required part of the event. When you're out on course, you must wear an orange vest. We have them for you. You can also bring your own, but it must be orange. That way people can see you and they won't run you over. You need to be on your phone. You need to be on your feet the whole time just for safety. We may take a break halfway through to like tractor or water or something like that, at which point we will radio and tell you we're taking a break and you can sit down or use the bathroom or whatever.
Or find shade.
Or find shade. But while the course is hot, you must be on your feet and you may not be on your phone. If we see any pictures or videos from course workers after the events, you will get a very stern talking to and potentially will be asked not to come back as well. It's very serious that you not be taking photos and videos while you're working. You have one job. Your one job is to maintain the area of the course that you're responsible for. So that could be one cone or it could be a series of 4. Your job is to take inventory of where those cones are. Make sure you know how far apart they should be, what they should be aligned with, use rocks or something to mark them if you need to, if it's a complicated section. Then you need to watch every car go by. If they hit a cone, you first want to signal to your corner captain, letting them know like they hit a cone. And then you need to replace it exactly where it was. Our main priority is your safety. So if you see a car coming and you're not sure that you can get to it and put it back safely before that car gets there, that's okay. Keep yourself safe. If that driver sees the cone down, we've talked about it, what they will do, they'll stop, they'll point to it, and we can carry on. When you get out on course, we will do a radio check. The first thing we'll do is just make sure we have radio communication with all the corner captains. So there'll be one captain at every station with a radio. They'll also have the red flag. So remember, you're responsible for listening for red flag calls. You may hear us call a specific comm station. We could say comm 1, red flag, please. Or we could say a full course red flag. Your job is to get out, be visible, wave your red flag, and bring cars to a stop.
Have your red flag in your hand while course is hot at all times.
Yep.
So you don't have to be running to the bucket to get the red flag when it's called.
Yeah. And so your job during a red flag situation is to listen. So we may figure out what's going on, handle the situation, and then we'll say, okay, all corners, please have your cars proceed through the course at parade speed. At which point you tell the driver that. Please do not busy up the airwaves with other chatter about anything during a red flag. There's a situation we're trying to deal with. We need the airwaves clear. Additionally, if you call in a red flag, let's say you see a car DB'd, we get a car that goes off course, or there's some other unsafe situation and you need a full course red flag, or you need even a partial course red flag. Your responsibility as a captain is to quickly radio in, COM 5, car off course, red flag. COM 5, car stopped on course, red flag. Then we will call the red flag Then we will ask you to clarify what's going on. Does the car need a tow? Have they been able to get going under their own power? Something like that. So again, keep the airwaves clear unless we ask something new.
Call for the red flag first. That's the important thing. But then we need a description as to what's going on, what's the causation of that red flag, so we know how to respond to it.
Yep.
Yes. Also, one more thing. So I know it's hot and I know people will take out umbrellas for shade. Here's the deal. No red ones.
They look like red flags.
Yeah, when you come around a corner and look up and you see red, you immediately lift. So, just no red ones, please.
Yep. And so just remember, you're going to go out for a few hours. Be sure to prepare for the elements. You can bring water, you can bring Gatorade, wear what you need to wear, bring layers, whatever it might be. We also may have photographers or spectators out. If you see anything that feels unsafe, just let that person know directly. If it's a photographer, just ask them, can you please stand however much farther back makes you comfortable, whatever it might be. If they're not responding to your request, then please radio us and we will make it happen. Yep. We just want to keep everyone safe, spectators, competitors, photographers, everyone.
Right.
Okay, so that's racing, that's working. You want to talk a little bit about our COVID health procedures?
So as it stands right this moment, change it anytime by some government edict. But as it stands right now, our COVID protocol for Albany is going to be that spectators are allowed. However, they must follow rules. Masks are required at all times, except for when you are in car by yourself. You must maintain our 6 foot distancing, social distancing, and most importantly, it's important that we follow these guidelines, make sure that everyone is safe, so we don't have a situation. I know we're getting there where people are getting immunized, and there's a lot more of us. I just think that we're going to get there soon, and if we can all be vaccinated and so on, the faster this goes, the faster we can relax these rules. We have a huge obligation to keep everyone safe. So we spend a lot of time working on our rules to make sure that they are putting everyone in the best position possible. When Keto designs courses, we spend a lot of time figuring out how to build the safest, most fun course. And this is it's a new component, but it's another component that we really need to think about. And our number one priority is keeping everyone safe. So even though it kind of feels a little bit like overkill, we had a situation last event where we found out afterward that one person tested positive after the event, and we were able to go through and say, okay, well, we know everyone was wearing a mask. You guys have all been so good about following all the rules, that we were able to just send an email, notify everyone, and feel confident that everyone was kept safe. And so we just want to be sure that we're continuing to protect everyone until we know what else we can do. So, and our protocols work because as far as we know, that is the only person, and no one else was affected by it. And I think a lot of that had to do with the protocols that we had in place. So we're going to maintain this, and if we're all just responsible for a little while longer, we're going to get there, and we'll be able to, hopefully in the very near future, be able to run, without masks and so on. So
I will say, last year, having masks at all the hot weather events when it was so dusty, it was a little unpleasant because you're kind of sweaty under there, but the dust situation was way better. So I don't know, it kind of works out. So thank you again for always following those rules.
Okay, a couple other things we need to cover. Camping, there is camping. There are power outlets in the camping area along the fence line, I believe. So we just, if you're camping, just make sure you pick up after yourself. What we want to do is leave the venue with a cleaner venue than we arrived. I know there's tons of tear-offs that are floating around. If you see trash, don't step over it, pick it up, let's throw it in the garbage. Again, let's try and leave the place cleaner than when we arrive, so that they're going to welcome us back time and time again. I think we talked about dogs being on leashes, so we need them on leashes. If you have a cat, they have to be on a leash too, or a peacock. They all have to be on leashes. Can't have any loose animals running around. And then we covered the gate fee. If you're single, coming in all by yourself, really help us out if, you brought a 10 and not a 50 for us to make change.
Oh,
when it comes time to pay. No, I mean,
Yeah.
everybody pays with 10s or 20s. We're gonna run out of 10s and 5s in a hurry. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind, other than that, we're really looking forward to a fun weekend. It is gonna be hot. Get that sunscreen, lather that on because it's gonna be a hot one.
Okay.
So
on that note,
I'm done.
thank you all for being a part of the event. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions, you can reply back to the email in your inbox. Let's say you didn't get it. I don't know how you'd be watching this video, but let's say you didn't get it. info@nwrallyassociation.com. We can answer any of your questions there.
Yep.
So we will see you all at the event.